Miranda Devine's a New York Post columnist. I mean, so why did we not get the full story from Biden's FBI?
Look, I think that's a very good question, and it's one that I ask, and I think that all of America is asking. Certainly, Donald Trump is not satisfied with the answers that he's been getting, I understand, and those close to him. And Senator Ron Johnson has had to subpoena Donald Trump's FBI to get more information about the assassination attempt. So now we find out from a source that there is actually voluminous material that gives us an inkling about the trajectory that Thomas Crooks took to become a 20-year-old assassin. And it's not what the FBI had told us. You played Paul Abate, the then Deputy Director of the FBI, telling Congress just 2 weeks after the Butler assassination attempt, just one half of the story. He lied by omission because he left out the part of the story where Thomas Crooks flipped in January 2020. He went from being rabidly pro-Trump to being rabidly anti-Trump. And I'm not sure why Paul Abate wanted to mislead by omission.
Yeah, usually when people completely change their ideology, it's over the course of several years, sometimes several decades. It's usually not like on the drop of a dime. What's with the furry thing?
I don't know. Look, it's really a small amount that we can see, but it struck me because, of course, as you mentioned, Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin, Tyler Robinson, was involved with this furry community. He lived with it's someone who identified as furry. It's some sort of sexual fetish where you dress up as animals, or this DeviantArt site has sort of animals that are having sex but are humanized, and other weird stuff. You like... Thomas Crooks had this image that he'd posted of a very muscle-bound sort of Arnold Schwarzenegger type male body with a female face, with a female head on it. So I don't know, there seem to be a few different fetishes there, but he does describe himself as they, them as well. So that tells you that he is going through some sort of gender identity exploration at that time. You know, he's 15, 16, 17 years old. COVID had hit. Maybe that explains his change, but I think it's so radical. It's almost as if he's been de-radicalized by somebody and then re-radicalized in the opposite ideological direction.
You said by somebody. Do we know who this somebody is, or we haven't seen any evidence that there was a co-conspirator, have we?
Well, only that we've seen that he had a brush with a Norwegian neo-Nazi whose name was going by the name of Will Tepes, who is very violent, who encourages the sort of violent rhetoric that Crooks was using. And later on, our source has given us some comments that Tepes has made, that he was talked to, has had conversations with both Russian and American intelligence. He had something to do with Crooks, but we don't know really how much. I think it's up to the FBI to let us know.
Yeah, and the FBI, will be letting us know pretty soon, and we'll be looking out for that. Miranda, thank you so much. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.